All right. Hello, 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 everyone. This is Tyler James with Comics Launch, and I am here for the January 2024 Comics Launch Mastermind info session. And so, if you are tuning in to learn about the concept of a mastermind and to get more details on how I run masterminds inside of the Comics Launch Mastermind, which is a specific group that I've been running for over 6 years now, then you're in the right place. And I look forward to sharing this with you. And so if you're watching us live or if you're tuning in for the replay, thank you. We are streaming this on Facebook and on YouTube, as well as on a Comics Launch website. And so I hope, regardless of where you are tuning in, thank you for being here. If you are watching us on YouTube or on Facebook and you have a comment, you can actually leave a comment through those channels and I will get to it. But I do have a pretty packed presentation for you today that I want to get rolling with. So welcome and thank you for watching. One of the highlights of my holiday season is knowing that a new year is coming, and with the new year is a new opportunity to bring some new creators into the Comics Launch Mastermind group. So you are in the right place. If you are a comic book creator, a writer, an artist, a publisher, and you're really interested in growing your audience, network, and creative business in the new year. A quick check-in for anyone that's tuning in live, and you can also, if you do watch the replay, you can leave a comment on this, but I would love to just hear in the comments how many of you have been in a mastermind before or are currently in a mastermind. You can put a 1, yes, I am in one right now, 2, yes, but not in one right now, 3, no, I haven't, or 4, I'm not sure if I've been in a mastermind. And so regardless of what your experience is with masterminds, I'm going to really lay out exactly what we're talking about here and how it could potentially help you in the new year. But if I am new to you, I am Tyler James. I'm the publisher of Comics Tribe. I'm also the founder of Comics Launch Pro, which is a program and a community and a set of resources that I've been building since 2015 to really help creators find success in building audiences, getting them really engaged and fired up for the stuff that they are creating, and then how you actually go about launching that stuff. We focus a lot on crowdfunding and Kickstarter in particular, because I do believe right here, right now, that is the highest leverage platform that creators of basically all experience levels can use to maximize the impact of the thing that they're launching and really help build it in a sustainable way. And so, I'm the publisher in my publishing duties. I have published over a dozen titles. Some of our more popular ones include Sync from John Lees and Alex Cormick. We've done really great oversized hardcovers, as well as we also do have a popular children's board book brand called C is for Cthulhu. And we've been covered in just about every major comics news outlet for Comics Tribe. And we also do have a diamond distribution deal that we've taken advantage of. But one of the things that I am most proud of is the body of work and the resource that I've built over the years in terms of Comics Launch and then Comics Launch Pro. My background and education is in education, and so my passion has always been comics. My background and training and sort of heart has always been education, and so the fact that for the last 8 years now, I've been able to combine those two in building out the resources for Comics Launch and Comics Launch Pro has been really special for me. And the results really do speak for themselves. It always, brings me excitement whenever I check our latest scoreboard. To date, Comics Launch Pro members and alumni and people that have gone through my training programs have now had over 700 successful crowdfunding launches. They're funding at around a 97% success rate and have raised over $6 million collectively in funding since we got started with this thing. And I've believed, and one of the mantras that I've lived by is that you can have everything you want in life if you'll just help enough other people get what they want, which is a famous Zig Ziglar quote, but something that I've tried to embody and do with the work that I've done, and it's done all right for me. um, and so, I guess a question for the group is just, how has your year been so far? 2023 is coming up, end of the year. Usually it goes one of two ways. You're either feeling really good about what you've accomplished in the past year and fired up going into the next year, or it might be the other way. You might have had a whole bunch of goals and resolutions at the beginning of the year and realizing that this year is coming up a little bit short. But if you want to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 what your year has been in the chat, would love to see how you're feeling about it. But 2023, it's been an odd year. Looking back over it, there's some crazy stuff that happened this year. Remember that time when like in New England, at least, days outside were looking like this for a little bit. It's crazy. It's been a crazy year. 2023 has certainly, had its own set of unique challenges and twists and turns and upheaval and uncertainty. But 2023 has actually been a pretty great year from a publishing perspective, for me, and also for many of the creators that I work with. And so, for Comics Tribe, we did a total of 4 Kickstarter launches this year, including our most successful crowdfunding launch to date. And we did a grand total of over $200,000 raised on Kickstarter, just on Kickstarter, in 2023 across 4 successful campaigns. And so that was definitely, I believe, a new high watermark for Comics Tribe publishing in a single year on Kickstarter, and definitely something that I've learned a lot from and continue to learn a lot from. And a lot of that translates back into my program and my community and the podcast. And so, while I've had some big wins this year, it's also been fun to see that the ComixLaunch Pro community has continued to grow and thrive, and we're on pace for another. I believe we will set another record in terms of total funding for the creators in our program this year. And I'm also celebrating the 7th anniversary of leaving my day job and becoming a full-time creator. I'm very grateful for what I'm able to do for a living, creating and launching Comics Tribe projects and helping other talented creators with their launches is what I do all day, every day. And it also gives me a lot of time to raise my son and watch this little dude grow before my very eyes. And so I'm very grateful with what I do. And among the things that I get to do on a monthly basis is I got to create and I got to run the ComixLaunch MasterMind, and I got to introduce dozens, I think now over 100 creators to the power of mastermind groups since I've been doing them. And inside the ComixLaunch Mastermind groups, just some achievements, some wins that we focus on, some things the creators have been up to and things that they've achieved. Is we had a creator get his first 5-figure Kickstarter launch. Another creator had 9 5-figure Kickstarter launches in a row. Creators are securing amazing reviews for their comics. They're investing in new art courses and training. They're recruiting new partners to create new series. They're hitting their writing goals. They're getting their projects covered in major news outlets. They're registering trademarks for new properties to protect their IP. They're launching projects in the 10s, 20s, and $30,000 range. They're often collaborating with each other and fellow mastermind members to launch new anthology projects or to work on new series. They're launching web comics. They're negotiating partnerships. They are getting picked up for publisher distribution after taking a project to Kickstarter for more of a mass market appeal. They're getting pitches accepted for anthology projects or setting up LLCs to get the business side right. They're hiring accountants again to get those books in order. They're interviewing and they're hiring editors for their comic book projects. They're setting the bar, they're raising the bar and then setting the bar even higher for their own personal best launches. And they're writing scripts and they're navigating tricky breakups with creative partnerships that no longer work. They're finding new creative teams, and they're starting publishing other creators' work and having success publishing others' work on Kickstarter. And so this is just, every creator in the mastermind is sort of has their own journey and has their own focus and their own goals. But what's awesome to see is that they are achieving those goals, and they're taking concrete steps towards making those goals happen, whatever those goals happen to be. This is a group of creators that are committed to leveling up. And one of the key practices that I've seen with my own growth and that they see as well is they just routinely are investing back in themselves and their creative business. I've found that you see the two biggest returns when you invest in your skills and your network. And so a lot of what I create is designed to really help creators do both. We're going to give you some concrete skills. We're going to teach you some new stuff. We're going to share strategies. We're going to keep you knowing what's working and what's not. And then we're also going to make efforts to make genuine connections with you and a network of other creators that are in this world that are doing on a similar path. All right. And great things just happen to come from that. So what I want to go over today in this brief session is what is a mastermind? What can a mastermind do for you and your creative business? I'll share why I first started the ComixLaunch MasterMind and why I've continued to do it every year and why creators keep coming back to it. I'll share what's included in the ComixLaunch MasterMind, how it works, what the commitment and investment to take part in the ComixLaunch MasterMind is, how to apply, and then if there's questions and answers, I will be happy to answer them. So let's begin with what is a mastermind really? And the way I like to conceive of a mastermind is, around this question of, are we doing this alone, or are we going after our goals and making the world, or at least some people know about it? Besides yourself, how many people are there on the planet who know exactly what it is you're trying to create this week, this month, this year, in the next 5 years, and in your lifetime? Want you to succeed and are regularly thinking about what they can do to help you on your mission. These are also people that you can trust to offer you good, knowledgeable advice and will always tell it to you straight, even if it's not what you want to hear or what you need, but it's what you need to hear. And you're also meeting with these people on a regular, consistent basis to talk about these things because that relationship is a priority in your life. Now, how many people do you have in your world right now who would check all those boxes and fit those descriptions? There was a long time when the answer for me would be zero. I was a lone wolf. I was doing it all by myself. And there's a reason, fast forward, to many years later, there's a reason my publishing company is called Comics Tribe, because I realized, wow, you can go a lot farther when you do have a tribe that's in your corner. So the counter to that scenario where you don't really have anyone in your corner like that is, what if there was a small group of high performers and achievers? These are creators that you respect the hell out of and you admire, and they had you on their minds regularly. Imagine this group was there to think about how they could support you or include you or collaborate with you or connect you and create with you. That's what a mastermind is all about, and the difference that can make in your creative life and your creative business when you do have that network in your corner is pretty incredible. And so accountability is something a mastermind could speak to. And Brant Fowler was one of our founding members who just talked about how, he was able to use the group as his accountability partner when he wanted to improve his writing habit. And so knowing that there were people like expecting him to check in with his writing count really did help him boost his productivity. Another thing that creators find is just support. Creators know that when there's other creators that are that have their back, that are supporting, that are cross-promoting, that are providing just someone to lean on, it can help create some incredible projects. And, Clay Adams, I remember he brought an idea to the mastermind that he really wasn't so sure if he was going to do or not. And after talking to the mastermind and getting feedback, he realized that he was kind of sitting on a gold mine that he didn't even realize was something that was worth launching on Kickstarter. And when he did it, it ended up becoming his most successful launch to date at that time. So the feedback of the mastermind and seeing, you know, other people's eyes light up when you share that idea that you haven't shared with anyone else can be really, really empowering. Mastermind can also sort of be your own personal brain trust. A lot of people we have questions, we have ideas, we have things that we think about. And I know in my immediate circle, like I have a very supportive wife and I have a very supportive friend network, but most of them don't know anything about comics, crowdfunding, etc. And so to be able to have a focused group that you can turn to and know that the advice that you're going to get is solid, because these people are all in that world too, is very powerful. And so that's what a mastermind is. It's a small, very focused group of like-minded creators who meet regularly to share resources and connections. They sharpen and strengthen their creative business strategies with each other, and they support each other in mutually beneficial ways. And so a mastermind can be a safe space for big, scary ideas, for getting instant feedback, for resources, a pool of resources. And we make it a point to leave some space so that creators can share cool resources at every time we meet. It's a place for collaborations and potentially joint ventures or collaborative projects. It's a place for info and network sharing, and, you know, what printers are offering the best deals, or which vendors or which products are performing the best on Kickstarter. Like, being really glued in on that stuff can be key. It's also a place for shining light on new possibilities or seeing things from a different angle, and also an opportunity for you to not just being pushed by others, but also to push others and to give back and to you know, encourage, provide that encouragement or that shoulder to lean on that you'd like when you need it, but also you can provide it for others. And I know that brings a lot of joy to the creators that participate. And so, you know, we've had some great feedback from members over the years. Albert Lim said, "If I ask a question, I know I'm going to get a quality answer that's going to improve me. And that's because of the quality of the people in the group. The monthly mastermind meetings help keep me on track, and the check-ins help keep me focused on doing the things I said I was going to do." Another example of what a mastermind is not, however, is it's not a how-to course. I have inside of my ComixLaunch Pro program many step-by-step courses, trainings, etc. But it's not a how-to. Like, the mastermind itself is not the focus is not a how-to course. It's not a sage on a stage seminar with me getting up like I'm doing right now and pitching something to you or sharing an idea with you and being the expert, right? It's also not a done for you service. It's not a one-on-one coach. It's not an overcrowded, nameless class where you can sort of anonymously hide in the crowd and just absorb but not participate. It's not what a mastermind is. It's also not a group where just anyone and everyone can get into it. The best masterminds do have some criteria and some level setting, because let's face it, like the challenges of the creator picking up a pencil for the first time are definitely a lot different than the challenges of a creator that is trying to reach a bigger audience, fund stuff at a high level on Kickstarter, and expand their publishing business. So it's important that we get the level right. But when you find the right mastermind, it can help you achieve your business goals faster. It can help you provide structure and accountability. It can help you troubleshoot issues and find solutions. It can provide you access to new resources and contacts and networks. It can help you uncover blind spots or tap into new ideas and hear fresh perspectives. And it can provide you community and connection. And it can also be a lot of fun. And something that Clay Adams, who is one of our founding members, said, he said, "The mastermind hot seats are incredibly valuable. I walk away from the sessions on a high from connecting with all these great people with stuff that I can walk away and do." And so a question, again, for the group, and something that I'd like you to think about as you we're going into the new year, as you're going into 2024, like what best describes the most important thing that you're trying to accomplish in the coming year? Maybe is it option one, a personal best crowdfunding launch? Two, are you trying to seriously increase the size of your fan base? Or three, are you trying to break into new sales channels? Or maybe four, finally complete a big creative passion project? Uh, you know, or maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something that I haven't thought of. But these tend to be some of the things that are on the minds of the creators that join the program, and it's something that we end up helping them achieve inside of the mastermind. So Rob Multari is an example of a creator that, after participating in the mastermind, was able to hit both new backer high totals on one launch and then a new funding high on another launch. And so that's definitely an example. Melody Pena, who is a member, was able to finally complete a passion project that she had been publishing on the web for a long time, and finally got around to doing that Kickstarter thing. And she took her time, but did it right. And she had $100,000 launch on her very first Kickstarter launch. And if you're wondering what $100,000 launch can look like, well, that's her husband with a forklift moving her books. So that's at the end of a big launch is usually a big fulfillment project and some storage space needs. But we walked Melody through a lot of that. So why did I start the ComixLaunch Mastermind in the first place? I realized that there were creators in my network of thousands on my email list, listen to the podcast, that subscribe to my socials, etc. These creators probably on the cusp of a breakthrough year, but they didn't necessarily need another course from me. But one thing that they did need was more connection, more community, more contacts, more accountability. What they really needed was something that a mastermind could provide. And so I sort of realized that maybe the greatest value to the audience that I have might be in my ability to connect and to assemble the right small group of creators and get them to meet regularly and to connect in the form of a mastermind. And that it's not necessarily about what I know or can do. I try to demonstrate that with the courses and the podcast, and people can take it for what it's worth. But I know that no one has a monopoly on good ideas. And one of the things that I've been able has helped me keep things fresh and helped me continue to grow myself is that I listen and I try to learn regularly from other really talented creators that are doing things differently or doing things at a high level. And I know that the magic happens when you get the right people in the room and they're all there for the right reasons. And so I've continued the mastermind after starting it, and it turned out that there was a need for it and an interest for it. And I've continued doing it year after year because it works and because I've just seen the creators continue to grow and thrive in it. George O'Connor, a frequent mastermind member, said, I found the ComixLaunch Mastermind absolutely irreplaceable over these past few years from a mentality and support system perspective. I'm here because I want to get better by learning from other creators. And yeah, and the hot seats and the support that we offer to creators will run the gamut from everything from the super strategic all the way to the hey, I just need to vent, and this is a safe space where I can do that. And then at the end of my venting session, we'll be able to come up with some constructive ways to approach the situation that I'm dealing with. Moana McAdams, another founding member, said, I've been in the ComixLaunch Mastermind since its inception, just tons of value. I wouldn't be where I am as a creator without it. And what I love about Moana's story is she came in sort of joined the ComixLaunch Mastermind when she was sort of in the background working on the behind the scenes of her and her husband's comic book publishing business. But after several years of being in the mastermind, and she ended up developing herself as an author, in a sense, going on to publish several successful children's books, and has sort of really grown as a creator in her own right. And so I've been excited to see that. Now, My number one job as a mastermind facilitator is really to assemble the right group of high caliber, serious creators and to facilitate an environment where they can all have a breakthrough year through mutual support and accountability. Sort of see myself as the Nick Fury, and I'm trying to assemble a super team, so the Avengers, and that's really how I view the Comics Launch Mastermind and what it can be at its ideal. And so Comics Launch Mastermind is an exclusive mastermind for serious creators that is run and led each month by me, Tyler James of Comics Launch. And the Comics Launch Mastermind is for comic book creators, writers, and publishers who are already on their creative journey and they're looking to level their creative business up to, say, the high 5 or 6-figure mark and beyond. And so it's not necessarily for creators that have never launched anything before or creators that are just starting out but have really no experience. This is for creators who are confident in what they're creating, but want to continue to grow and develop and are really focused on the launch side of things and the audience growth side of things and the leveling up side of things. And so during the Comics Launch Mastermind, it is a 6-month immersive mastermind experience. That includes monthly roundtable coaching and accountability calls with me. There's a private Facebook mastermind group. There's also access to monthly themes and high performance exercises. We do accountability check-ins, and you'll have connection to a small group of high performers and achievers who are constantly have you on their minds for mutual support and benefit. You'll also, when you are a mastermind member, you will have access to the entire Comics Launch Pro library of courses and training materials. And that's because often a big percentage of the creators that join the Comics Launch Mastermind sort of were in Comics Launch Pro and enrolled in my Comics Launch Pro program first. Not everyone. Some creators do join the mastermind first and then get access to it, but it just makes things so much easier when we all have a shared pool of resources that we can point to or that we can discuss. And so it just made sense for me to include the access to the Comics Launch Pro library of courses and training materials when you are in the mastermind. Another thing that you will have access to that is mastermind exclusive is you'll have access to now a library of 30 Comics Launch Mastermind masterclasses where over the years, I've invited industry pros to come in and teach something that I don't know or something that our audience in particular wants to know about, that are all related to the topics that we as creators are interested in and need to grow at. And so there's now a library of over 30 of these, and you'll have access to that full library while you're a member. And you will also be able to join us for 3 new bonus masterclasses with accomplished guest lecturers that are going to speak on an area of their expertise that should be relevant to all creatives. And you'll be able to attend these sessions live, connect with the guest speakers, ask questions, etc. Now, more details on what specific classes will come later and are also usually driven in a large part by the needs of the particular mastermind that year and their interests. Christopher Michael, who's a member of the mastermind, said, my name is Chris. I'm a member of the inaugural Comics Launch Mastermind. If you're thinking about joining the next session, I can promise you this. It will be well worth your time and money. In the last 6 months, I've not only learned more than my brain can currently handle, but I've also taken action towards my goals in a way that I simply wouldn't have if I didn't plunge myself into this immersive experience. Do it. And so just love that experience from Chris jumping in. Now, the Comics Launch Mastermind is application only. I'm only accepting applications from creators who can commit to making a mastermind group a priority in their lives for at least the next 6 months. Creators who are already on a journey and have a vision for where they want to go, what they want to achieve. These need to be creators that are looking to level up their creative businesses and their peer network. And these also should be creators that genuinely get excited about the prospect of contributing to the growth of other creators' businesses along with their own growth. And so the commitment is a 6-month commitment. It's going to run from January through June 2024. We'll start the second week in January and get rocking and rolling right then. And you're committing to making the group and the people in it a priority in your life so that you can receive the benefits of a mastermind. Now, what you may be wondering, all right, this sounds good, Tyler. What's the investment? Elephant in the room style. And you also may be wondering, like, why do I charge anything at all for this? And I've heard people say, hey, Tyler, if you really wanted to help the most creators, why not make these groups free to join? Totally understand it. And part of the reason why on the podcast, I create free opportunities to do pop-up masterminds. And then I also, over the years, I've shared a lot of tips in running masterminds so that if creators really like this idea, but they don't necessarily want to join me in it, I encourage you, go start your own, get it rolling. But what I have found and what I've heard back from some of the creators that started their own mastermind and especially their own free masterminds is that they just found that it was so hard to maintain. Uh, if it's easy to get into something like that, it's also easy to get out of something like that. And free masterminds that I've been a part of in the past or that I've seen, they almost always fizzle out. And so part of that is because we value the things that we pay for. And the investment also helps ensure that the people in the group are actually serious about building their creative businesses versus just hanging out. And so the quality goes up when it's people have some skin in the game. Often the transformation is in the transaction, and the attitude that I want people to take is, hey, I invested in this thing, so I'm going to show up and I'm going to make sure that I get my question. I bring my topics to the group. I get support from the group. I access all of the resources that are available to me, and I'm going to make the most of my next 6 months so that my next 6 months are incredibly productive. And that usually tends to follow making an investment. And so the good news is that while a lot of people, mastermind group might not be for everybody. All we really need to make a group session really work is a small focus group of 5 to 7 serious committed creators. That's really all you need for a mastermind to thrive. Now, the ComixLaunch MasterMind sometimes is a little bit larger than that, which is awesome. I love that energy from bigger groups, but a small group is really all you need to make it happen. And so for the January 2024 session, the investment to join the ComixLaunch Mastermind is $197 per month, or it's $997 paid in full. Works out to be under $6 a day. And if you are a ComixLaunch Pro member already, we do have a special discounted price for you. It's $149 a month, or you save about $200 for the paid in full plan. Okay. So again, the additional perks of being in the ComixLaunch Mastermind is that you do have access to the ComixLaunch Pro program, which includes our email list building program, List Launch, and our Kickstarter A to Z program, the ComixLaunch course, our 2 flagship programs. It also includes our Beyond Kickstarter program for sales after Kickstarter, and our Ad Launch program, which is about Facebook advertising and how to grow your launches and lists using the power of paid ads. I've sold each of these programs for between $400 and $999. You'll have access to them for 6 months while you're a member, and that's all included. So the total value of this is significantly higher than what we're charging for it. Again, you'll also have access to each of those 30 plus master classes, which is a tremendous value as well. Some of the things that we've had is, we've had a talk from directors over at Kickstarter, sort of sharing what actually is best practices and how the algorithm works and things like that. We've have pitching classes from Ryan K. Lindsay, budgeting classes for creatives. We've talked to some great publishers that are doing cool things, like the folks over at Scout Comics. We have training on upping your PR game or launching on Webtoons, how to plan an online book tour, turning your characters into 3D models and miniatures. And so these master classes are really fun and a great bonus as well. And you will have access to 3 more of those. So again, quick recap. ComixLaunch Mastermind includes 6 months of monthly roundtable coaching and accountability calls. You'll have access to the private Facebook mastermind group for support. There's monthly themes and performance exercises, accountability check-ins, full access to the entire library of ComixLaunch Pro training materials, and you'll have instant access to the masterclass library, as well as an invitation to attend new masterclasses with guest experts. And you also have the member price lock. So prices, we adjust prices somewhat regularly around here, but when you lock in at the mastermind, your price will never go up. Um, Looking at a fit $5,000 value, but your options are $197 per month, 6-month commitment, or you can pay in full $997 with a single payment. You'll save $197 with the pay in full. Again, if you're a ComixLaunch Pro member, it's significantly less. And this is the lowest price that we ever will offer for mastermind enrollment. And that includes locking in that price. So it will never go up on you. Here's a testimonial I got from a former mastermind member, Kevin Joseph. He said, I've been working with Tyler over the last year or so in the ComixLaunch Mastermind. The skills and practices I've been exposed to or taught during that year have already paid for themselves, and I believe they'll be the cornerstone of my career moving forward. I recommend the ComixLaunch community unreservedly as an exceptional investment in your business. And I believe Kevin has one of the longer running series in TART over on Kickstarter. I think he's raised well over $100,000 on Kickstarter and keeps rolling. And I've always loved seeing Kevin thrive on Kickstarter and see him continue to grow. So if you're interested, if this sounds like something that is right for you, is something that you want for yourself in the new year, here's what to do. Your next step would be to first make sure you meet those requirements. You are already on your journey. You're able to make this group a priority for the next 6 months. You're excited about adding value for others as much as you are for receiving it. And joining it is an investment for you, but it should not be something that would burden you financially. If that's the case, then I encourage you to fill out the ComixLaunch Mastermind application. Again, acceptance is by application only. Getting the right people in the group is so important. So do fill out the application and take a little time with it. I review them very carefully. And after you've filled out the application, you'll get a link to a Yes, I'm Serious $50, 100% refundable deposit. Deposits do need to be submitted before the application will be reviewed by me. And if it's the kind of thing where, if you submit the application, submit the deposit, but then decide that you're not actually interested in the mastermind, I just refund the deposit and you go ahead. If you are accepted, then I just apply the $50 deposit to your first payment, and you'll have until the end of the month, this month, to make that final payment to properly enroll in the mastermind. Now, if you're on the fence, just fill out the application. Like, I actually take some time and have structured the application to ask some of the questions I always ask myself before I go into a new year, so that I get some clarity on hey, what's happened, what's working, what's not, and where am I trying to get to over the next 6 months. And I think you'll get some value out of the application process, whether or not you join the mastermind. So if you're on the fence, you might as well just fill it out. And then it is a simple Google Doc, so you can fill it out and you'll find it there. You can access the application at comixlaunch.com/mm-apply. And again, we only have, because we end up retaining between 70 and 90% of existing members each year, we do only have a limited number of spots. This is sort of an estimate of the spots that we have for open enrollment in new year. So I do encourage you to get your application in as soon as you can, and know that we only open the mastermind no more than twice a year for new members. And the earliest we will open again isn't until mid-year 2024. So if you know you want this in your world in 2024, let's get those applications in. Some key dates for you to consider is this is our December timetable, but applications are now officially open. They will run until December 21st at midnight. That's the deadline for new member applications. And I will be reviewing and following up if needed as applications come in between the 14th and the 21st. I'll also be reviewing them. And then I will be notifying applicants regarding their acceptance if we're able to find a spot for you in the mastermind on December 22nd. And then you will have until December 29th to make a final decision and to enroll in the mastermind for 2024. So those are our key dates. And then we will begin rock and rolling right in the second week of January is when our mastermind sessions begin. Now, just as you fill out the application, be sure to hit the submit button. We have had some in the past that they get all the way to the end and then they don't hit that submit button. And so I never see it. So don't forget to hit the submit button. And after you hit that submit button, you will get you'll be taken to a page that confirms that it was submitted. And then there will be the link to where you can make that $50 deposit. I will also follow up with you if I get an application, but I don't receive a deposit, just to make sure that that was on purpose. And so, yeah, so make sure again, I only review applications that have full deposits in. Again, no application will be reviewed or matched with a group without a deposit. You'll still have the opportunity to decide whether or not to join the group. So if you're on the fence, might as well just fill out the application so that you have that option. They're only open until December 21st. And then the soonest we'll open again to new members is July 2024. So if you're interested in leveling up in the new year, don't miss out. So if you have questions or additional questions or something that I did not bring up to you, please go ahead and share those in the chat now, and I will try to address them. But some of our frequently asked questions include what time will the groups meet? Currently, our groups meet on the second Wednesday of each month, and there are usually two groups, a 6 p.m. group, which is sort of a good time for our folks over in the UK, or also our creators that aren't necessarily the night owls. And then we have the night owl group, which is meets at 9:30 p.m. And sessions usually run for an hour and a half to 2 hours. They run and are held virtually inside the ComixLaunch Zoom room. We've been Zooming sort of before the rest of the world knew it was cool, pre-pandemic, and it works great. We're able to do breakout sessions, to meet in small groups. We're able to just really connect, and it's worked well for us. We also do record all of the sessions and make the archive of sessions available to you. So even if you attend the 6 p.m. session, you'll actually have access to all of the hot seats, all of the discussions from the later session as well. And there is some flexibility if you need to switch groups at any given time, you can. Where are members located geographically? All over the world. In the past, our members have come primarily from the US, the UK, the European Union, Australia, and Canada, but we encourage creators from all over to apply. In terms of how big the mastermind is, usually it runs between 17 and 25 creators all in. We almost always have at least 2 live sessions, and we try to split the groups roughly into even size groups. If we do get on the higher side, occasionally we will add a third group and a third time if necessary. I'm always happy to do that so that the groups are always strong and well populated, but not too overwhelming, so that people don't regularly get to have their answers answered. And so that was definitely part of the application process. You'll be able to sort of submit your times that work for you, and then we will be able to just give you feedback, and so we'll go from there. So if there are any more questions, see, we've got a few folks in the chat. Mark, yes, don't forget New Zealanders. We definitely need more New Zealand representation. Absolutely. Kirk says, will live chat be available on the replay? That's a good question, Kirk. I know occasionally I find that it disappears on YouTube for me, but if not, you can find this same video on Facebook on the Comics Launch Facebook, and you can leave a comment over there if the YouTube disappears for some reason. So yeah, seeing a couple of things in the Sean Keenan's past member, best mastermind program in the world. Yeah, and one of the cool things about the mastermind is that, you know, we'll have creators like come and come for a season or come for a year, as some will just stick through and come back year after year. Some will leave for a season, come back for another season. But what I've also found is many of our mastermind alum end up making really great guest speakers later down the line. So Sean was in the mastermind for a few years a while back. And he's been doing some really interesting things in the world of Kickstarter and using influencer marketing to find some new audience bases for the comics that he is creating over there in Australia. And so we actually had Sean be one of our guest speakers this last term to come share what he's learned about influencer marketing. And so that's an example of one of those master classes that is now in the archive. And so it's great to be able to have things come full circle with our past members. Captain Hardluck, a lot of challenges that I will dominate without much help. Hey man, you know, a lot of creators I know have that ethos of like, hey, let's get it done myself. Let's be DIY to the core. And you know what? There's definitely a time and a place for that. And being a self-starter and a problem solver is definitely great. I have found, though, especially in the world of like building audiences and launching Kickstarters, and the power of the cross promotion, the power of the network, the ability to get in front of other people's audiences, it's usually something that doesn't open up to you if you are just focused solely on what I'm doing. And so it's something to think about down the line. But I wish you well, and I'm rooting for you, my man. So yeah, so these, you know, I'll be around obviously to talk more about Mastermind, and over the next 8 days or so while the application is open, I'm happy to answer any questions or continue to answer any questions online or offline, email list and others. But I appreciate you all for tuning in and asking and just being open to the concept. I'm really, you know, we're looking for creators that sort of see this offer, see what we have, and they're saying to themselves, hell yeah, I'm in. Right? Life is too short to not have a hell yeah attitude about the things that you spend your time doing. And so if that's you, comixlaunch.com/mm-apply is where you can go. comixlaunch.com/mastermind will also direct you to a page that will get you to the application process. So that's where all things lead. Again, Thursday, December 21st is our deadline for applications. And if there are any more questions, I'm happy to take them. But if you are interested, easiest thing to do is just apply and see where it goes from there. In the meantime, though, I want to thank you. Whether you end up joining us inside the Comics Launch Mastermind next year or not, I appreciate your time and attention. I hope you enjoyed learning more about the Mastermind concept. And as always, I can't wait to see what you launch next. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll be seeing you hopefully inside the Comics Launch Mastermind. Take care, everybody.